I've invested a lot of money, more than 30 lakhs, in my personal development from the time I left the army. So I go and learn from people like Tony Robbins, Blair Singer, Jack Canfield, James Taylor, Frederick Harron, and all those fantastic people who have coached me, and I'm very grateful to them. After I've learned from them, I experience it. I try it out. So that is, and then F is I filter it. I see out of that, what is it that my audience needs? What do people in India need? Because when these people teach us, they teach us global concepts, but they have no idea about what happens in India. And many of them can't even pronounce Delhi and Bombay properly. So they have no idea of the Indian market. They have no idea of the Indian corporate culture. And therefore, there is somebody required to put it in place for the Indian audience. Okay. And then the next T is transmission, training. That I then transmit that ideas to you. And the last T is to transform. So the transformation takes place when I learn from a lot of people, filter it, customize it to your requirement, and put it forward to you. So therefore, I don't claim any originality. And I personally feel that there's nothing called original, because every original idea came from some idea. There was a suitcase, there were wheels. Somebody put the wheel on the suitcase, it became a wheeler. No, wheeler is no original idea, but still it is an idea, because why didn't somebody else think of it earlier, right? If today somebody has thought about converting railway trains into hospitals for this present environment, isn't that a great idea? Okay. Is it original? Debatable, right? So let's come to, without wasting any time, come to the fact that I don't need to tell you right now that we are all facing an unpredicted, unplanned, unprepared situation, which has come on us quite suddenly. Even if there were signs of it coming from, let's say, somewhere December, we were not really taking it so seriously. And certainly in a place like India, I still remember somebody telling me about the month of February that luckily we are safe from it. In Indian climate, this virus will not going to survive. Okay. So therefore, the blast came to us only in the middle of March. Now, what has happened is that we have suddenly found ourselves in a position where things have become tough. Somewhere near the 5th or 6th of March, I heard there's somebody talking and somebody coughing. Can you please mute? It is very disturbing to have noise coming in. Please mute. And you know, when this continues, it becomes very difficult. Okay. Shubha and Supriya, keep using the mute all option. We have got that facility, and let's do that. Why is he saying I can't mute? Just a minute.
Sir, I've done it.
Okay. It's not happening anyway.
Sir, I've controlled it. Please continue.
Okay. Right. So somewhere I heard a coach of mine called James Taylor. He and Frederick Harron and a lady who's a speakers bureau owner in Dubai, and 2-3 more people I didn't know. They debated on what will happen to the speaking industry, because speaking gigs were already getting cancelled. And when they spoke and I understood the entire thing, I started looking at what would be happening in the future. I got discussing this with my coach, Satish Purohit, and that's the time I told him, let me start writing a book on leadership in transitioning times. I have been speaking a lot on VUCA, and I would like to share in the chat box a little later maybe a link of my video called Leading in the VUCA World. It is on my YouTube channel, which you must see. And I do talk about the 2611 case of 2008 when we had NSG coming into Mumbai. What was the VUCA conditions under which the army operated is something worth looking at, right? So we were talking about the VUCA world, but we were coming to a stranger part of VUCA world. Lata, your video is on. Can we have your video off?
So had it on, so I put it on.
Just a minute, please. Okay, right. So the point I was trying to make is that I had started thinking about this and I did a lot of research, and today what I'm going to be talking to you is on the basis of many insights and inputs that have come into this subject. Let me also tell you that the question that was being asked at that point of time was, how long will it last? And today there are many guesses going on. There are many estimates. A lot of people are talking about whether it will be the end of June. Somebody is saying it will be the end of July. But let me tell you that whether there are historians or there are economists or there are reformists, anyone who's talking about how long it will last is based on past experience. And because we have never experienced something like Corona earlier, it'll be incorrect to say that how long will it last. I am not a pessimistic at all. I am an optimist. But here I also put my optimism into some type of a limit. Let's say, let's embrace the reality. And the reality is we don't know how long it'll last. But for any wise person today, it is good to be prepared for the worst. Now, this is what we were taught in the army. When you plan an operation, you always plan for the worst because we don't know what the enemy is going to confront us with. Also in chess, you don't know what the opponent is going to come out with. So your moves are dependent on the opponent. And when you don't know what the opponent is going to do, you have multiple options. And today, boys and girls, let's look at what are our multiple options as leaders. So I'm addressing everyone here, and I assume all of you are leaders. If you have got even 2 people reporting to you, you are a leader. And you are a follower, because if you report to somebody, you are a follower. Okay. If you are an entrepreneur and you don't have a boss to report to, you still have a boss which you don't realize. If I own a company, then I am Sushil Bhasin, MD of that company, but there is a Sushil Bhasin as a person who controls this MD. So therefore you have to have that person you are responsible to, accountable to, and even if you don't report to a boss, you are accountable and responsible to the people in your teams. So today, let's concentrate on what are the challenges of leaders and how are we managing this new home office. So in the last webinar, and I'm doing a series of them, and if some of you who have not attended it earlier would like to attend, I'm going to be doing tomorrow at 9 p.m. The webinar on how to manage your home office. Right now, I'm talking about leaders and their challenges in this environment that is prevailing today. So can I have each one of you quickly write down at least 1 or 2 challenges that you are having as a leader in this new office environment or new Corona environment that has come up, where everyone is in his office, sorry, in his house. Everyone is at home and operating from home. So I want some challenges here, please.
So Deepak ji had asked, no clarity what's going to happen.
Yeah, so uncertainty. So that's a part of VUCA also, uncertainty. Losses, how to motivate teams, connecting with quality time, connecting with quality time. Okay. Employees don't have resources like laptops, internet connections. Getting people to reply fast. Okay, good. Not
Personal
clear.
touch.
Not clear. Okay. How to improve the productivity. How much extension? Yes. Uncertainty. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Right.
Since Kunaya. Hello.
We're expecting you to keep your mics off, please. You can write whatever you want to in the chat box.
Sorry, sir. I am unable to write out here because of some network issues. Hello.
Yeah, but then how do we? Because if we allow people to speak, there'll be a little chaos. So
there will be a question and
Okay.
answer session after 40 minutes of Brigadier session. You may please
Okay.
use your poster
Okay.
later.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm getting a lot of questions, and I think we are going to answer most of them. If we are not able to answer questions, we will answer all these questions either in an email or on a WhatsApp group which we have created. And Supriya will help us put the link of that so that you can join the WhatsApp group if you have not already joined. Okay. So now let me come to the VUCA condition. So we are all familiar with this term, which is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Now, this was a term which was coined by the US Marines somewhere in the late 90s. But today, this term is so old, yet not very, very popularly known in the corporate world. I have added 3 Ds to it. And the 3 Ds are the diversity, the disruption, and digital. These 3 things have added a complication to or a complexity to the term that was already existing, because these 3 terms were not creating a havoc in 1990s or end of 90s. In this VUCA D3 world, and there's a lecture on it tomorrow, so I will not talk much about that, but we are talking about unprepared, unpredicted environment that is presented before us, and it happened quite suddenly. We were not prepared, and people had not foreseen it, and therefore we are stuck. When we are stuck as leaders, what do you do? Can somebody say, if you as a leader get stuck, I am stuck in operation, the enemy has made a move I never thought he will make. I have not prepared for that. He has appeared in a place where I am not, I don't have my forces. What will I do? What is the first word that comes to your mind? What will I do? Anyone? You said repeat. Okay. So somebody said innovate. Somebody said be creative. I'm saying, what would you do? What is the first thing a leader should be doing when a situation comes in front of him which he was not prepared for? He doesn't know what to do. Acceptance, yes. Okay. Be calm. Calm everyone. Analyze the situation. Hopeful. See, now, if a leader is just hopeful and keeps giving hopes to people, sometimes it also has a negative impact, because people will start expecting things that they're not happening, and they will not trust you for the hope that you gave them. But yeah, you being hopeful is really correct. Okay. So I still haven't got the word I was looking for. The first thing that you should be doing as a leader is reflect. Reflect. Reflection is that you, and introspection was one word which came, which was closest to it, that you now try to analyze, let's try to reflect what has happened, what are the reasons, what are the best we can do, right? So in the army, we have those 3 questions. What is your task? what does it involve, and how far can I plan now? I'm repeating these things. What is my task? What does it involve? And how far can I plan now? If these three questions you keep in mind, reflect, and start writing down, what can you do? So as a leader, if you were to get in touch with your core team, maybe your immediate reportees, get onto them. And this is what people must have done, I'm sure. The moment this happened, where, for example, when the Janta curfew was announced, it was Sunday. But some people had started predicting this could happen. And the Prime Minister had given a very clear hint, which said that if situation comes up, this will be a good rehearsal. He had said that, or words to that effect. So therefore, now is the time that your people together, maybe on a phone call, on a Zoom call, whatever you did, and said, what do we do? And get people's opinion. Get your team to think about it, and then you come out with your plan, right? Now, the question is, you have a lot of things. How will my finances work now? How will I generate my revenue? How will I service my clients? If you are a production company, how will I keep producing stuff? When will the orders go? When will the money come? Etc. etc. Now, all these things. And then when you find that the whole world has stopped, and that is not so much of a concern, because when you are not able to service your clients, nobody else is servicing. So clients are quite happy to accept that state. Now the next question is, how do you keep your team occupied? What are you doing with them? Are they allowed to disconnect? Are you going to leave them alone and say, no, you are at home? See, I'm not disturbing you, your privacy. So I'm going to let you be there. No, they're looking for you. They're looking for your support. They're looking for empathy. They're looking for your communication. So this is the time that you start communicating with them. I'm going to be covering a little later the 5 dysfunctions of team, and we'll see how do they matter today. But before I come to that, I want to just share a few things that I have been thinking about or I've been listening to from people, and then we'll go further in question answer format to cover what we want to. Now, when this crisis has come in, it's also a great time to convert this crisis into opportunity. While some people may be crying and cribbing, complaining, there are others who are thinking of how best to make use of this opportunity and do something to be prepared for the emerging new world. The emerging new world, as per my perception, is going to be a hybrid new world. You're probably going to be classifying world into the pre-corona world and the post-corona world. Many things that you did, you will later on say, in the pre-corona world or before 2020, we used to do this. Now, what is this new world going to be? The consumer behavior is going to change. The way businesses are done is going to change. The way international relationships is going to change for sure. The way people will communicate will change. People's relationships will change. People are now realizing how much each other matter more than money. Today, I've seen some pictures where in Italy, people have thrown money on the road. There is a picture with lots of currency notes lying on the road where those Italians are saying, this money is of no use if we can't get food and medical treatment. Now that is the type of a danger the world is facing. And thanks to our good luck and to our country, I don't think we will reach that stage, but we can't be complacent about it. So we have to be prepared for anything can happen. So today, relationships will be more important. You give money to your people, they may not be as happy as how you can give them consolation, confidence. Yesterday, my maidservant was talking to my wife and she said, Madam, aap humko nikal to nahi doge. See, everyone sitting at home is doubtful whether you lay them off, whether you'll keep them, how long will you pay them. These are the questions that are coming to their mind, and many of you who are not business owners will also be having a similar question in your mind. Is my job intact? Will I get my money? Who will look after me? Who will feed me? How will I run my family? So in this time, there are a couple of things we can do. One is to see how best we can keep our business, how best. If there's going to be lag, there's going to be either there'll be no revenue generation or there'll be limited revenue generation. But whatever be the case, it can't be the same as what it was. Of course, there are some people who are flourishing. I know of a friend of mine whose husband runs a grocery shop, and she says that we are making 5 times more money than we ever made before. Okay, there could be some people with such products or some work like this. If you are having a manufacturing unit of masks, maybe you are going to do better than others. But generally speaking, the revenues are going to go down, if not not diminish totally. Now, if I can't generate revenue, what best can I do? Be prepared for the upswing, so that when the upswing comes, as an individual, as an organization, I should be prepared for that. Okay. So today, one of the things is, when the going gets tough, the tough online. The whole world started realizing that online is the only option. And that is why instead of doing a workshop, I'm doing a webinar. I know of many of my friends who came to me and said, "Yaar, Zoom sikha do." And a few days back, I did a session, impromptu session on, there were about 62 people on that, getting to know the basics of Zoom. So those who knew it had a little advantage, but not very long. I think in about 10 days time, I think the whole world will know Zoom better than what they knew. And for some of you who may not know, the Zoom share went up from $21 to $250 just in a week. And that was about 5 days back. I don't know what the current position is. So this is going to be the new world, and let's prepare for it. So we are coming to some leadership challenges. And before I get down to your questions, a couple of things I want you to remember. What are the characteristics of this? The first thing is you have got remote control. You have got virtual teams. Many of you may say, oh yes, I've been used to handling virtual teams. If I was sitting in Bombay and I had my team sitting in Bangalore, Delhi, Chennai, I was handling virtual teams, but they were virtual teams in one place. Now, if there were 20 people in in Bangalore, or 30 people in Delhi, those 30 and 20 are operating in 30 and 20 different offices. You can't be telling one person that you please tell everyone. You have to tell all 20 people. So therefore, your communication channels, your communication with them, or your system of feedback, giving instructions, monitoring the progress, checking on their productivity are all challenges that were not there before. The second is your hierarchy. Now, earlier it was very easy for you to say, I will only talk to my 6 immediate reportees and they will take care, and then they will take care. So there was an organizational hierarchy. That hierarchy has also got upset. Has got upset because some people are not, like somebody said, somebody may say, I don't have a laptop at home. Somebody doesn't have internet at home. I have known of people who said that I don't have internet here. So you don't have Wi-Fi, and therefore I can't operate on a laptop. Then the only thing you can do is call them up. Now, how many people can you call up will again be a limitation. This is the time to build relations. Relations within your own company, and see that everyone is connected. This is also the time. Okay, in your chat box, tell me, who do you think is your greatest asset right now? Other than your employees. Other than your employees, who's your greatest asset? Most important asset that you will try to look after. My wife, my family. I said, no, okay. Yes, my wife, my family, my relationships are fine. I'm not talking of that. I'm also not talking of my laptop. Somebody says, very good. My mindset. Okay. What is from business point of view? Business point of view. Somebody said here, who's this? Kamal Sachdeva. Existing clients. Okay. Good clients. Clients. Networking. Professionally, clients and vendors. Networking. Okay. My resources. My time. I'm very happy when somebody thinks of time as a resource, because till quite some time when I used to go and talk to people on time, nobody thought it was a resource. Okay, right. Guys, what I want to tell you is your existing clients, like Kamal said, are most important today. Most important. Now, this is the time to go back to your existing clients and offer them help. If you today go and tell your client that I'll do a webinar for you as a trainer, I'm saying, for example, and my clients are, if I go to them and say, come on, I'll do a webinar and I'll teach you this and I'll teach you this and I'll charge you X amount of rupees. It'll be a wrong thing to do right now. This is not the time to make money. This is not the time to go with a business deal. This is the time to go and offer help. So today I have written a mail which I was wanting to write for the last 3 days to about 200 of my existing clients that I'm here to offer you some help to let us see how I can do team building for you in, now what's happening? Somebody has got the, who's sharing his screen? Please don't do that. Somebody either by mistake or has shared his screen. Just a minute, can I switch it off? Exit full screen. Okay, thank you. Right. Now, I have been doing team building for the last 15 years. And today I know that I can help all my clients look after their teams in a manner that they wouldn't have thought of. I've just done it with a few companies, and one of my very good friends, Dr. Arnagiri, I did a session with his team about 3 days back. It was very effective. So now I am not charging for those webinars. If they come out with some specific issues and if they off, it will be fine. But this is the time that all of you who are in businesses, go and ask your clients, what can you do for them? Somebody also, vendors, and I didn't think of that. Yes, vendors as well. Your vendors are the ones who can go to connect, because it shouldn't happen that when the upswing comes, people say, oh, when I needed him, he wasn't there. So today, your family needs you, your clients need you, your relationship building is going to be probably the most important thing we can look at. Okay. Now, having said that, let's come to questions. And I want to take on any important question that somebody wants to ask. I just covered some of the basic things that would give you an idea of the questions I'm thinking of. Yeah, any questions? Taking people along. Okay, I'm looking at questions.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good evening, Brigadier Bhasin.
Yeah.
I have a question here.
Who's this? Okay, can you give me your name?
My name is Dr. Aradhana. I am Director of Patel Institute of Science and Management.
Okay.
Yeah. My question is, are we looking at disruption of all times right now? I mean, we are going to have businesses with a new way of working, academic institutions with a new way of teaching. So are we, going into an era where there is going to be a disruption and completely in the way operations has been so far?
Absolutely. I think, whatever emerges after this, whether it's schools, colleges, or companies, they will never operate the same way again. Whether it will be a total disruption or there'll be modification, that we can't really say. But certainly, we should not expect the same thing to come back. Very interestingly, Sam Cawthon says he's written a book called Bounce Forward. And he says that instead of saying bounce back, I don't want to bounce back to the same level. I want to bounce forward. Okay, that means that if I train myself well, if I use this period to my advantage, then when the upswing happens, I would have reached a step higher than where I am today. So if I'm here, I've reached here. And that is what I'm planning to do. Okay, so that when the upswing comes, I've already got a lead. And in that environment, I'm able to do better. So Aradhana, what I can say is, this time in your profession, you should be looking at the possible disruption that will take place. If you keep yourself alert, keep listening to all the news, and in your particular, see now, every day I spend some time, I'm speaking on almost one webinar, if not every day, every alternate day, but I am listening to at least 4 to 5 webinars every day. And I select them according to my industry and my profession. And I look at that because I will not care to look at or waste my time on something that's not going to be, if someone will talk about how goods are manufactured, I will not go and listen to that webinar because I'll never manufacture goods. Okay. But I'm looking at the speaking and the training industry, and anyone's talking. So yesterday at night, I accidentally came across a webinar, and I hope I'll get the recording. I'll join them when they were already 20 minutes through. And it was probably one of the best, where there's a group, mastermind group, were talking about how businesses should be run. And some of the things I want to talk today are based on what they said. 1 or 2 things that I've talked about, like they said, existing clients, they talked about going to them with, you know, even if you're offering them a far-fetched business idea, but today the message that goes to them should be that you are not doing it to make money. If you make money in the bargain, if you think that the client is capable of paying you and you go and offer it to him with a cost, that's perfectly fine. That depends on case to case. But your idea, when you go to him, you should be going with the approach of help, not because you're going to make money. So when you earlier went to a client, you said, this is the best product, it's the best in the market, and take my product because nobody can give it better than me. You're not going with that pitch now. Your pitch is, and I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, is existing clients is a good option because they know you. You have your credibility with them. So now when you go to them, for example, now I'm going to my clients and telling them, I will be able to do team building for you. I will tell each one of your people through a webinar, as long as they have an internet connection at home, we will get them together to work on team building with exercises, with activities which I can do on Zoom, so that we will keep them engaged and we will keep them updated, so that after the upswing, they are able to do better, even if we are not able to generate business in this time. Yeah, anyone else?
Sir, should I start reading?
Yeah, please.
I've
Take
saved the questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the first question is how to get the floating manpower back on manufacturing site to start operations.
Okay. So now this is going to be challenging because your manpower is going to be dissipated, and somewhere contacting them itself may be a problem. But I don't know if somebody here in this audience has done something about it. Let us hear from people if they have found some solutions. But I know, for example, I was talking about Arnagiri. He has a travel bags manufacturing unit. And for him, luckily, about 10 people were staying in the factory premises. Look for your existing core group. Can you have some people who can be mustered? Can you contact some people, if not all? Can you see if if manufacturing can start? Like he's manufacturing, about 20 to 30% of his manufacturing is going on. He managed to get his finance department to upload in the last about 4 days 20 invoices, which are going to get him about 20 lakh rupees. So if the accounts department was not able to operate from home, then he would have had to wait for the upswing to come and then send the invoices. But today, at least he has been able to send the invoices. When the money comes may still be a question, but at least the delay in sending the invoices has been avoided. Yeah. Anyone else? So, sorry.
Yes, sir.
This
Next
is a
question.
difficult question to answer, but I would like to know from this person whose question is this?
I guess Vivek. Vivek, was that your question? I'm not saving the name.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Vivek Deshpande.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vivek.
So, Vivek, firstly, anyone who's asking a question, I'll be happy if you can come on a video. Only when you're asking the questions, we can see you.
Only when I read out the question, please put your video on so that Brigadier can see it. Thank you.
Actually, I see you cannot start the video because the host has stopped it.
Sorry. Okay, I've asked.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, Vivek. Yeah.
Yeah, I am from manufacturing and we have multi-location manpower, and the issue which we are facing now, most of the people, say 20% of the people are floating manpower.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay.
Now it's better.
We are from manufacturing.
Yeah.
And we have multi-location operations, and we have 70% of the manpower is on floating, that is temporary trainees, and these people are we are trying to get them connected. We have already paid their salaries in advance as such for non-working days, and we are trying to understand their health, their issues, where are they kept, and when they can resume post the lockout is over. And it is since it is a manual operations, we are looking how without the people things cannot work, things cannot be made, and things cannot start. It is for many of the manufacturers also.
Yeah, yeah.
So my question is, my question is, they are not traceable. 20-30% people mobiles to be off. There is no communication from them. They are not able to hear what are their what they are having in mind. There are some questions, but some questions are not there at all, and they are not very sure. Those are many issues: infrastructure, transport, coming back, money, whatever. I mean, we are just trying to assemble all those points.
See, now, if you go by the news where people are migrants who are going back to their villages, all those situations may happen. My only take on this is that the people you have, at least keep them intact, keep communicating with them so that at least they don't run away. And through them, because they normally may have their friends, and keep asking them if they know of somebody. So, you know, supposing if you ring up somebody and ask him for his colleague who's missing, अरे तुम्हें पता रामू किधर है? आपने उसका कुछ सुना है? कहाँ पर गया? कहाँ पर है? Maybe he could connect with him and give you some answer. But that's the best you can do in the circumstances. But don't give up. Those 30% people, if they're not answering, see if you can send them WhatsApp messages, keep calling them up, call a friend of theirs. Now, if you in your company have a record of their next of kin, normally you should have, you know, their wife, the next of kin, can you check up from them and find out where this person is? So these are some of the ways, even in your own company, if those 30% people who are missing, you'll certainly know of somebody who is very closely known to him, his friend. Ask him. So this is the way you can do it. But you know what? If you've got, how many people you said? 70? Or you said 70%?
70% of the people are not traceable.
But what is the total number of people you have?
Say for Pune location, 2 men put together around 1600.
How many?
1600.
1600. So my encouragement to you would be to get your entire team and divide the responsibility and tell them to, you know, give them clusters, whether it is department wise, location wise, to see if each one of your people can continue with these efforts. You will know at a future date that people will say, साहब मेरे को ढूंढ रहे थे. They will get a feeling that you didn't give up and you didn't say कि okay गए तो गए. You
Right.
did not ignore them. You did not neglect them. So your care. Every human being wants to be cared, and if your feeling given to your people is that you care, it'll pay you rich dividend. Is there anyone else who would like to add something to what he's saying, or if you have in the a similar experience and you found a better solution?
No, it's good idea. Actually, we have started to an extent. We have divided the teams and we are working on that.
Hello.
And I
Vasin sir, Kunal here.
sorry, I don't
Sir.
mind Vivek doing an offline discussion with you. Get in touch with me. We can,
Sure.
further debate. But at the moment, we have got a wonderful lot of about 120 people here. So let's ask somebody else who is facing a similar situation.
Sir, if you don't mind, please. We have a lot of questions. We have just answered one question. So if we can go ahead and take this question again at the last if time permits.
Okay, but just
Yeah.
one person has any idea to tell me on this. I would like to know if there's a better answer. Any one person.
Sir, I would add to this question. Can I?
Yeah, who's this?
Yeah, Kunal Patil here. Kunal Patil.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I have joined my organization around 2 months back.
Yeah.
I'm new to my organization. I in the first two in my induction period and the last 2 months, I have built a good rapport with my team. The team is consisting of almost 3 departments. Application is there, other one R&D is there, and then tool room is there. After building this space and handling a single project, I had a good rapport with my team. But at current situation, I am talking to my teammates for their personal well-being. But I am a little bit worried about the pace that I have gained in the last 2 months.
Okay.
How can I get that pace again when we be on board again?
I don't think I really got your question, but we were looking for an answer to his question. So are you talking about how you don't know how you will be able to get to the same pace again? Is that right?
Yeah. Because I have given my best efforts during that team. And eventually when I see now, of course, I was new to the organization. Maybe this is the thing that is being affecting somewhere. But when I will be again on the board, the pace in that team that I have generated, will it be affected during the new session?
I'm really not able to answer that question. It is
Okay.
going to be
Brigadier, I'm so sorry, I'm barging in.
I think the question needs to frame better. Basically, what he's saying is, how does he retain his team beyond this entire crisis?
Yeah, so retaining the team we are talking about, and as I said, is the way you can connect within the limitations and keep doing your whether you write emails, whether you do telephone calls, whether you do anything. If that on Facebook, connect with them on Facebook. You see any communication that you know of that person doing, please do that.
So this is Dinesh. This is Dinesh. Can I chip in?
Guys, please, I request not to unmute, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, hence I was denying because we have a good number of participants, and if everybody unmutes till 9 or 10 p.m., we will be just on the Zoom call.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sounding very rude, but then please understand we have around now 112 participants, and it becomes difficult to control.
I think let us continue with the session for the time being.
Let's continue with the questions which have already been asked.
The next question.
Yeah, I'm continuing with the next question, sir. So, how can a leader contribute in their values better, leadership values as of now, to contribute better?
Okay. So, I would say that this is the time for you to look at your company's organizational culture. It is my belief that a company's performance really depends on the organizational culture, the values, and the type of systems that you have created, which people go by. And today is a time to look at them and say, were you talking about you're talking about trust, you're talking about communication, you were talking about, you know, whatever you're talking about internally, which is going to be looked for by the employees, are you giving it to them or not? So one is that your leadership values will how much are you acting on what all have you been promising? How much can you connect with people? 2-3 things which I want to say, and today before I finish, I saw Dr. Arnagiri is on the call, and I certainly want you to listen to him, because he talks to his team every day on Zoom call. He talks to about 20 of his core group, and the way he does it is so beautiful. I'm sure you learn a lot from him.
Sir, we will definitely allow him to talk at the last.
Just a minute. Now, before I go further, I want to talk about these 5 dysfunctions of team. Have you all heard of these 5 dysfunctions of team? Is there anyone who can tell me what they are? No? Okay. So 5 dysfunctions of team. This is what you're going to be really as a leader looking for. And I'm going to talk all 5 are not so important. Today, we are more worried about 2-3 of them. Today is the time to build trust with your team. If you are going to communicate with your people and show them that you care for them, okay, talk to them individually to whatever level you can. So if you have a company where you have got, let's say 200 people, maybe you can't talk to 200 people, but see that you at your level go to as much depth as you can and talk to people, whether collectively or individually, and listen to their concerns. Listen to their concerns. People will ask you questions that you're asking right now. All the questions that you have put in the chat box are the questions people are going to ask you. So answer them. They will want to know how long it's going to continue. They are going to say whether they're going to get their pay or not. And let me share with you here one story which I just heard yesterday, which was fantastic. And I was talking to Arnagiri and we were discussing this. Can you, if you ask your team together, what do you think we should be doing? How do you think we are going to be generating our revenue? Get them involved in the big picture of your company. Let them not talk of, don't have to say I and you. How are we going to come out of this situation? What do you think the company will be after 2 months? How will we face the new world? When you do all that, and if you're talking about money, and you're going to say, if this continues for many months and there is no revenue, how do you think we are going to sustain our salaries? How do you think we are going to meet with many of our expenses and things like that? And you know what? I've heard a company saying, and this is what these 3 people also said yesterday, there is a good chance that you as a leader can make it come from them to say, sir, please deduct 20% of my salary, but keep giving us salary. Another company said, we will not lay off anyone because a lot of people we will not need. And the other people said, sir, please don't lay them off. We want everyone to stay in the company. We'll take, so that you are not at risk. You sacrifice your comfort for the sake of the team. These are the testing times, and this is what happens in war. When we sacrifice our lives for each other, we sacrifice, why we trust each other so much in the army is because we are prepared to sacrifice. This word sacrifice is your key word today. This is not the time to gain. This is not the time to receive. This is the time to give. This is the time to share. This is the time to sacrifice. So these are a couple of things. Now, communication has never been so difficult before as now. How do you communicate with people? And as a leader, it's not communication alone. Communication is when I convey to you a fact. That is communication. I know something and I can communicate to you without any distortion. That is communication. But I am saying you as a leader are not a communicator. You are an influencer. And how are you going to influence them means you are going to, by personal examples, by your care and share, by your empathy, by your futuristic designs, you are going to bring people into a state of confidence because you are going to influence them with your thoughts. These are the type of things that the leaders need to do today. Any more questions?
Sir, we have a big list of questions.
Okay.
Okay, so the next question is, how do we create a sense of urgency in people who work with us?
So see, now that sense of urgency is not as important as sense of commitment. At the moment, why are we being urgent? There's nothing so urgent today. You know, earlier we were talking about urgency because there was a delivery time, the client was looking for it. That is not there. Today, I don't know unless you give me a specific reason. Urgency se zyada zaruri hai commitment. Okay, so get people to commit. And if you were today also refocus, reset your priorities as leaders, see what is most important today for you. What are your 3 top priorities? And then tell your people only for those 2-3 things right now. Don't give them a list of 20 things. In my home office webinar, I said clearly that today the person sitting at home, and particularly if the people who are your workers have an element of ladies in them, look at the type of challenges that earlier that lady was giving you enough time because she had help home. Somebody was cooking, somebody was doing her laundry, and she would manage. Today, all of you in the family are stuck with no help, with limited resources, and everyone at home is working as well as managing the house. And therefore, the time availability with those people is also limited. Can you be a little more understanding of that and expect people to do just 2, 3, 4 things in a day if you expected 10 earlier? So give them your priorities, tell them, don't worry about this, just do this much. So that is more important than urgency.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, how to make them feel secured when we ourselves are confused?
That is a very good question. Very good question. See, when I am in war, I'm dead scared of the enemy. I never let my people know I'm scared. I know that I was organizing an event in Jaipur in somewhere 1990, and we were doing something and we lost all our sponsors. There was one person in the morning who rang up and said, I'm not going to sponsor. Another one said no. And the third person who said, I thought I'll really not be able to organize this event, what we were doing for the Army Vice Welfare Association. But to my team, I could not let them know. So when I got them together, they said, sir, what will we do now? I said, don't worry, I've already got 3 more sponsors coming up. You have to, even by telling lies, keep them supported. You can't show. A good leader has to act. He cannot show his weakness to them, but be vulnerable. Maybe what I'm saying is contradictory. Be vulnerable, which means admit your inadequacies. Tell people that you are as worried and as scared as, but also tell them that I am there for you. मैं हूं ना. हम कुछ भी होगा, 3 महीने काम नहीं होगा, but still we look after you. कैसे भी होगा, we don't know at the moment कैसे होगा, but I promise you that we will all share this. Whatever we have, we will share. If we are not able to pay you, I am also not going to draw a salary. So we are going to share the problem. We are going to share the poverty. Okay, so this is the way you can do it. Yeah.
Lovely. The next question is,
we are all in the business of emotion right now.
Agreed.
We are all in the business of emotion. At the moment, if you can win hearts, is more important than your bank accounts. Yes.
Very much agreed. Sir, the next question is, do we need to ask daily to the manager for the task?
See, you will have to set your own systems, and depending on what system you develop now and also what system you had earlier, you can have a reporting system. People can give you a report on WhatsApp. People can give you a report on whatever manner you can tell them. But you may not have the same frequency and the same way that you did earlier. And also, this is a time for delegation and empowerment as well. Trust them, allow them to make, tell them to do something that comes to their mind. Even if they are making a mistake, let them make mistakes. If they are going to be depending on, if you have had a culture in your company that everything happens after approvals, and if they're going to seek your approvals and you may not be able to give approvals on time, your work will get stuck.
Lovely. Sir, people are worried about the traditional manufacturing activities. How are they going to function?
That is going to be a big challenge. I would request all these people to replace that word worry by concern. It is good to be concerned about it. It is good to be looking for a solution for it, but there's no need to worry, because worrying has never brought a solution. Tell me something that, you say, I worried so much that I found a solution. So that is not an answer. But yes, I think there are no answers to some of these things. Keep your minds open. Be alert. There are people looking for solutions. There are many more like you. The whole manufacturing world has got an issue, and that will take time. I will try to bring in Dr. Arunagiri here, because he is into a manufacturing unit. He runs a manufacturing company, as also he is an international coach. He's an international basketballer, and he's an author of books, 3 books. So I would like to ask Arunagiri to throw some light on this. Can you please switch on your video and come on the video and mic, please? Okay, I've asked you to start video and okay.
Am I on? Brigadier sir, am I on?
Yeah, but I can't see you. Now let me see which screen you have gone to. You switched from.
Yes, he can be.
Yes, here I am. Yeah. Hi, Brigadier Sushil. It's a pleasure talking to you. I think your webinar till now has been very, very poignant and very useful for all of us. Friends, I run a manufacturing unit with almost 125 team members. And as I can quite empathize with all of you, it is a challenging situation for all of us. But in this situation, as Sushil rightly said, it's not to be worried about, not to be engulfed with fear. It's important for us to face the situation head on and see what exactly you can do in the situation. Like, for example, first and foremost thing is to get your tribe team together. It's very important that you put in a communication link with your team and give them that confidence. And in my opinion, your team is your biggest strength in this situation where there is so much of challenge. So once you motivate them, once you keep them together, once you start the communication and start getting into action towards generating revenue, generating income. As Brigadier Sushil sir rightly said, we are lucky enough to have about 20-25 of our laborers staying in our factory premise. So our production is still on. We are able to manufacture about 25% of our production. Similarly, we have our vendor network, which has also been activated through our managers. So they also are contributing to our production. So by this, we are not able to come back to the normalcy, but we are at least able to touch about 25 to 50% of our production capacity. This I know is a step-by-step process. We are all in this. And I'm sure even your customers realize the challenge that you are going through, and they're also quite empathetic. But as Brigadier Sushil rightly said, it's very important for us as leaders to keep our cool, be in action, and take that small steps every day, and keep your team motivated and encourage them to take action. And I promise you, those teams which are ready for action, are resilient, and are in the right mindset, they will be able to really help you to have a V-shape or a U-shape recovery when things come back to normal. So this is what is my small suggestion on what you can do. The important thing is being in action, be in a purposeful action, be in communication, bring your team tribe together. Don't let them alone. At this point of time, as a leader, it's essential for us to get our team together and start taking purposeful action.
Wow.
Over to you, Sushil. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the great insights.
You know, guys, just a minute.
Thank you.
Now, I heard Arnagari talk to his people that day. I was amazed at the beautiful way he was talking to people. I think a lot of people should learn some things like that. And the way they came back, I'll tell you, he was only talking to them about their welfare. But when he put the house open to questions to me, I got 3 and all 3 were related to business. They were not talking about welfare. So his manager said, "Sir, can we approach our clients?" And I said, "What will you tell them?" So we want to just be in communication with them. I said, as long as you don't sell, you can you can offer them. And then he said, "But sir, I think some of them we can even sell. I think we can do that." I said, "If you can do it." So my point is, look at how your team will come forward better when you let the thing happen. Drive them to do something that you want them to do. So instead of that, is all what I've been doing in experiential learning, even to children. He say, we don't tell them what to do, we make them say what we want to do. That is your influencer. To be influencer is to be able to make people say what you want them to say. Okay, so I think it's already right. And I don't know how people are for time. So Supriya, you can take a call if you want to end the meeting, but prolong it for people who want to stay on for question answers. But we could look at ending the meeting otherwise, so that people, your pictures and all, whatever you want to do, that you can do.
Pictures are equally
just
important.
1 second. I just thought, let me share this screen with you. Give me a second.
Yes.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you see the Word document that I've got here?
Yes, sir. Okay. Absence of trust, fear of conflict.
I'm talking of the 5 dysfunctions of team.
Correct, sir.
So this is what I was talking about. Look at them, and they are available on the net. But what I'm wanting to say is that trust is the most important thing now to establish. Fear of conflict. People will have fear, not only of conflict here, but there will be a fear of survival. So how are you, just what Dr. Arnagari was saying, how are you going to handle their fears? Then lack of commitment, I already mentioned that. Accountability. See, now make your team still accountable for the jobs that you are giving them. And let them be responsible and accountable, and revise your team objectives. Now, the team objectives today in this lockdown period cannot be the same that were there earlier. So do give a thought to how are you going to ask them to revise their team objectives. So if you do all this with your team, I think you can make the best out of the situation. Can you be really successful? Can you do everything that you want to do? May not be. But all the same, it is still important that you do whatever